Hello, lovelies. Hello, Emma. Welcome. So, let me ask you something. If you're neurodivergent, you might be struggling with some of the things many of us are. And those things can be those co occurring conditions, those chronic illness conditions that can come along with neurodivergence. And those are commonly things like hypermobility of the joints or mast cell activation disorder, which can affect our gut or our skin and other things, and allergies to foods and that kind of thing, and or dysautonomia, POTS, things like that, where our nervous systems are not easily regulated. And then that can, as you can imagine, affect as well our neurodivergent struggles. So if those sound familiar to you, welcome. You're in the right place today. Spirit's got some messages for you. I'm Vicky. Welcome to the channel. I am an intuitive medium who is also a therapist, and I'm neurodivergent myself. And this is Emma, aka the sweetest cat in the entire universe. I know you all have the sweetest cats in the universe as well, and it's not a competition. It's my universe, and she is the sweetest cat. So Emma welcomes you. I welcome you, and grab your hydration that's nearby, or the several. I usually have 2 or 3 somethings here for myself. So grab yours and let's take a look at what Spirit has to say today. Now, the law is in our household that one of the only laws that we have in our household, or the main ones, is that if there's a cat on your lap, you are legally entitled to stay seated and not move until the cat decides to leave. And it is well attended by most of our family, all of our family, and respected, I should say. So we know that when we have a cuddler on our lap, we can't leave. So I'll be here for a little bit, and then I'll see you on the other side for the reading. Thanks so much. Right, Em? You're such a good girl. You're such a sweet baby. Yes, you are. Those eyes. All right. Let's see. This is us in this moment, the collective. Okay, so we're in a place of kind of guarding guarding the things that we treasure. Of course, I always get more clarifiers as we go. Crossed by the Emperor. Okay. We're going to see what's in the past. In the past is Eight of Swords energy, where we're feeling like we're kind of feeling trapped, or feeling like we don't have a lot of decisions. We don't have a lot of choices. Let's see, our current situation is the Empress. Okay, we've got the Emperor and the Empress in our current situation. Our overarching enemy is the Hanged Man. I always have to look at it. I don't really do reversals unless I really feel it. If I'm not feeling it, it's not going to happen. Okay, let's get that set up for you so you can see it nice and nice. Okay, and we're going to be looking next at the lesson being learned, and that, is the Five of Pentacles. And then here's the outcome card. And what's underneath is the King of Wands. All right, so what is it that we're dealing with at this moment? It's feeling like you've been in a space where you're feeling the need to protect yourself in some ways. That there's certainly a challenge here in terms of, in our readings, our neurodivergence readings. Remember, I look at things a little bit differently with neurodivergence as we're doing as I read. I know, sometimes the cards are not going to be exactly what typical tarot talks about, but the Emperor in my understanding and my intuition when it comes to neurodivergence, the Emperor is kind of the male, divine male kind of a thing, energy, that if there is such a thing, it's that male grandfather sort of thing of the tarot. Okay, so there's that male energy. This doesn't mean we are male. It means that there's a very senior energy here. Now that's typical tarot, and we've got the Emperor and the Empress, and as we move and as I get clarifiers, this might be a relationship, but I'm not sure yet. One of the things that I see with neurodivergence is that the Emperor can often come across as very manipulative or controlling. And if you've seen my readings before, this is my card for our neurodivergent needs. When other people see or experience our neurodivergent needs, neurodivergence needs, they can see it as controlling or manipulative, or you're too this or you're too that, right? You're too sensitive. You have too many needs. What do you mean you can't shift from one thing into another quickly? It can sound and feel to the neurotypical people or to people who don't understand as controlling or just we're high maintenance, which is actually not the case at all. We're trying our best, but we have these needs, right? And you're guarding those things. This is you in the center. I'm guarding my health. I'm guarding my needs. I'm guarding my own being and the things that I value and treasure because it's feeling like it's at risk in some way. I'm holding on to it. That's not greed or selfishness. I need to do this for myself. And I'm wondering as I get clarifiers if this is about chronic health issues, if this is, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see as that comes up. But that's the first kind of intuitive thing that's coming up for me is somebody's got some chronic health issues that we have to guard. And because of that, one of the troubles with that, or a lot of the troubles with that, is that we have a lot of needs, right? And that's just real, very real. Let's do some clarifiers because I'm sensing that in the past you've had this time when you've had to, you felt really trapped. You felt really trapped and you felt like you can't see the choices that you have. You can't see what options you have. Okay, your current energy, your current situation is really the divine feminine. Remember we talked about the masculine energy, the grandfather of the tarot energy with the Emperor. Well, this is the kind of earth mother, the nurturer, the female counterpart to the Emperor. And the current energy is self-care, perhaps, as you're moving through this energy of your dealing with your health and really keep your health tightly held, right? I get that as you're kind of white knuckling it day to day to day if you've got chronic health issues. And that's what you've been dealing with. And your past, if this is the case with chronic health, my heart goes out to you because I live it, my family lives it too. When there's neurodivergence, we can also have what they call coexisting conditions, but in the field they call it comorbid, which is so morbid and dark, right? I call it coexisting. It's sort of what else we exist with. And we can what can coexist with us are things like hypermobility or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, mast cell activation disorder, where we can have gut or skin or issues like that, POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and dysautonomia, where our nervous system regulation is off. All of these things, these are very commonly occurring with neurodivergence. There's lots of studies out there. Please check them out. I'm not a doctor and I will not give you medical advice. I cannot give you medical advice, but I'm just kind of giving you what's in the literature and in our own experience in the community. And it's very real. So if this is what you're struggling with here, boy, my heart goes out to you because I feel you. And it does feel like there are not a lot of options. You know, for a lot of these conditions, there's certainly no cure because it's just genetically and sort of essentially who we are. But, you know, so we treat symptoms is what they say. And Spirit's saying, yeah, you're not wrong that it's always felt like there haven't been a lot of options or you weren't clear on what to do about it because it can change day to day to day. And so one of the things that we're looking at is how do we then nurture ourselves and take care of those things. Part of that in, you know, the overarching enemy, I always say enemy here, the overarching enemy, the arch enemy, the overarching energy is sort of what's above us, what's over all of this. And it can be the need to take time out for ourselves. This is the card of Pisces here, FYI. I'm always in tune with those because I'm a like quadruple somehow Pisces between my sun and my rising and my stellium that's in there. But this is about taking time to stop for a minute, take a breath and look at it a little differently. Yeah, maybe I haven't been clear on how to manage this, but, and I have felt like I am out in the cold. Ah, I'm hearing it. Thank you, Spirit. It's, okay. So one of the things that, can happen with neurodivergence, and maybe some of these, and not maybe, and with these chronic illness issues, Spirit's showing me that we can certainly feel left out in the cold. My mind is going faster than my mouth. I'm sorry for that. We can feel like we've been left out in the cold. We can feel sick. We can feel like this is disabling in so many ways. Very true, right? The lesson to be learned is we're going to get some more clarifiers, but know that that's not a you thing. That's the nature of the beast in our society today. At least I'm in the US, and we got a lot of issues with our healthcare, right? But one of the things historically has been that certain medical professionals are not hearing us, and we can feel very isolated, very alone, and feeling like this is disabling, and feeling like we're blind in this. And Spirit's telling you you're not alone in this experience. This is really difficult, but it's also very common for us. And so, community might be the answer for us. Is how do we know? The outcome right here is telling us working with other folks is going to be the answer, right? We don't go to other people for our own medical care, but we can get input. We can get support and validation by saying, hey, are you fainting a lot too? Are you standing up out of bed and your heart's pounding like it's a freight train? And maybe get tips from each other, or at least validation and support, which goes a long way when we're dealing with things, right? When we're really trying to cope. Let's get some clarifiers in here. I'm pulling my cards over here. I'm going to go to the Light Seers deck for some clarifiers. Yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling the chronic illness stuff for you here and with you. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. I did the vampire sneeze, so I didn't sneeze all over tarot cards. All right, spirits. Give us some clarification, please. We need some clarifiers on this Four of Pentacles, please. Oh, yeah. You're holding tightly onto your health. You're trying to just white knuckle it. For somebody, I'm really tuning into your aura, and you're very much in your heart and your head. There's you're really trying to figure this out and trying to figure out, how do I cope? What's going to happen? How do I do this? So let's get some more clarifiers, please. Yeah, this has been really hard for you. I'm so sorry. I feel it. The Ten of Swords is just feeling like a downfall, feeling like I've thought through everything. I've tried everything. And I don't know. I give up. I'm walking away. We can't do that. We have to stay in it, right? Unfortunately. But it's that moment of just like, I'm thought out. I don't know what else. And I feel like I have no choices. Oh, I feel you, baby. Yeah, I feel blinded. I feel like, what? I don't know. I don't know how to think about this. I don't know what to do anymore. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. Tell me more about the Emperor, please. Tell me more about the Emperor. This is our biggest challenge. It's what crosses us in this. And it's those needs. Remember, we're talking about those needs. But tell us more, please, Spirit. Oh, my heart goes out to you so much. I'm such an empath, and I'm just like feeling your pain. I was in somebody's aura just a few minutes ago, and I don't know who it is, but there's somebody out there that's really feeling this right now. And oh, my heart just goes out to you and is sending you so much love and healing. All right, let's hear about the Emperor, please, Spirit. Yeah, it just doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel fair that we have all these health conditions and all this stuff that we're battling with. Oh, baby, I feel you. It's not fair, but this is what is happening. And really what we want is this, to be able to reach for our, you know, I laugh for a second because I'm vertically challenged, and one of the things I struggle with is always reaching, even just reaching to the things that we do have and to value. But what you really want for yourself, what we all want, is to be able to reap the benefits of the things that we're doing, right? And when it comes to health, look at this, is she's so happy because she's able to, all the pentacles represent those little discs up there. They all, in this case, intuitively, what I'm getting is it's representing all aspects of their well-being, right? And they want to be able to just, look at here, let me just pluck this and I'm good. If I could just, have this one little fix in terms of, what's going to help this to feel better, or, how can I help with my mast cell activation and I can eat what I want and not run to the bathroom or, get nauseated. These are things that are very specific. There's somebody, I'm saying those things because that's one of the things that somebody here is dealing with. Exactly that. And it doesn't feel fair that I have so many needs with my health. And baby, I feel you. You're right. It doesn't feel fair. And it's hard. Let's take a look at the Eight of Swords. Please tell us more about this Eight of Swords energy. Oh, one more. Okay, again, Spirit's doubling down here, the Hanged Man. Yeah, when you're feeling like you don't have any options, and this is in the past energy, but Spirit's kind of telling us it's happened before, and they're giving us some advice here, saying when it feels like you can't find answers, Spirit's saying it's not that there are no answers, it's a sign that you're overwhelmed. It's a sign that it's become too much. That can be your red flag, Spirit's saying. When it's feeling like you're trapped and you don't know what to do and you have no answers, Spirit's saying let it go and take a moment to stop and rest. And by allowing yourself to stop and rest, one of the Hanged Man features is looking at things from a different direction. So you're coming, okay, I hear you, thank you. When we are able to do this energy of taking a few moments, before even if we can, we get overwhelmed, but when we're feeling especially trapped, taking a few moments to stop and rest allows you to look at the situation from a place of peace, of rest and recovery, rather than from a place of pushing through. Because the place of pushing through blocks our energy, Spirit is saying loud and clear. Pushing through, performing, judging yourself, feeling less than, is the perfect recipe for blockages to happen. Thank you, Spirit. It's perfect storm, perfect recipe for that to happen. So in fact, you won't find answers when you are in that energy of that tight, stressful, I have to hang on for dear life. I'm not criticizing, Spirit's not criticizing that we get to that point because it's so painful and difficult. And then go into this energy of rest. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Let's move to the Empress, please. What does the Empress have to say for us today? Tell us more about the Empress energy. Yeah, we can feel very confused. It's just validating what we just said. The self-nurturing, this energy of self-nurturing. Remember, so many of us do this. The Empress is that nurturing, loving, cultivating, caring for. And that's typically, I know you, collective, I know you, it's typically toward other people. Right? Whether it's friends, family, your kids, your partners, that's all family, but I'm being specific because this applies to certain people. Or it's at work. If you're a caregiver, if you are, I'm just hearing who's here. there are some nurses here. There are some nurses' aides, home health aides that I'm hearing from, teachers. These are loving, empathic, caring people that are giving and giving and giving. That's who you are. That's who you are. I'm also hearing somebody is in tech. Again, that one keeps coming up for me lately. Somebody is in tech, and you're still just as loving and caring, and you're pushing through in your job as well. So Spirit's saying that can lead to this confusion of, I don't know how to handle my health. I don't know what's going to help, unless we move into this space of rest and recovery and protecting ourselves from that, for sure. And protecting ourselves. All right, Spirit. Why do I keep saying spirits today? Spirits. That's funny. My brain's not. I'm doing this one pretty early in the day for me. And if you're neurodivergent and you're like me, and our circadian rhythms are a little bit later usually, early in the day, or for me actually, there's just a sweet spot during the day, but early in the day and late in the evening are harder for me. But early in the day particularly, our brains are not totally engaged. I wanted to do it now because I like when my brain's not engaged. It gets in the way sometimes. And I can just listen to Spirit. So Spirit's going to tell us more now. Spirit is going to tell us more about the Hanged Man. That one wants to come out. I love. When we're able to do this, life is not all rainbows and sunshine, but Spirit's promising you the more you rest and take care of yourself and allow yourself to do that, the easier it's going to be to manage. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy to manage, but we're going to be in that space of love. And exactly what I was channeling just a few minutes ago is that sense of when I let go of the white knuckling and holding my breath and rest, take care of myself, nurture. What do I need in this moment? What does nurturing look like? And Spirit wants to be very clear with you on this. Sometimes nurturing just looks like what other people might say as checking out, or being lazy, those terrible words that we are told or we think about ourselves. And it's not that at all. So it could look like, one of my things is when I'm overwhelmed or I'm getting to that place of overthinking, or I'm spent, I literally take out my phone and go on a silly Sudoku game with cats. You know what I mean? It's just very silly, but it works for me to shut down my brain, or to calm, or it's a stim in some ways, just in terms of a calming thing. So remember not to judge whatever it is that you need to rest. And sometimes it can look like that. Sometimes it can look like just checking out and laying on the couch and scrolling on your phone. That's okay. Just be careful of the content you're going to. Spirit's reminding us, because that can be really difficult these days. It's so toxic. So make sure you're in those moments, you're not going into toxicity. But the act of scrolling, the act of powering down our brain, is often what we need as neurodivergent people to reset. So please, I know a lot of people have judgment around scrolling, and that's really not the case. If it's what we need, do it. If it calms your brain and gives you a reset, gets you out of the overthinking and worry mode, yeah, do it. All right, Five of Pentacles. Please tell us more about the Five of Pentacles. Is feeling out the cold. Yeah, we can turn to our spiritual practices as when we're feeling this way. We can remember, Spirit's reminding us, all of this self-care, all of this looking at, how do we manage this? It is very difficult. So what is so important to us is, all right, what are your spiritual practices? And again, this doesn't have to be anything huge. You don't have to go to a labyrinth walk somewhere, because it's very difficult for many. It can be as simple as, if you have tarot cards, drawing one card. What does this energy have to say to me today? It can be journaling your feelings, your emotions. It can be meditating if you're into that. A lot of us who are neurodivergent can't meditate as easily because our mind wanders. And that's okay. I've got some strategies for that too, for neurodivergent people, that I'm going to do another video on soon. But the Spirit's reminding you, coming back inward, remembering who you are. And part of that is through spiritual practices. Part of that is through other methods that are more body-based or brain-based, whatever that looks like for you. All right. Yeah, because otherwise it can feel really heavy, and it is very heavy. And Spirit's reminding me, this card also is my, in Neurodivergence, my card for remembering that we are not the burden. I just did another video about that recently. You are not a burden because you have needs. Going back to that Emperor card, right? The crossing. Just because you have these neurodivergent needs does not mean that you're a burden. It can feel like a burden to us to have these things, for sure, because it is. But you are not the burden. Remember that, please. That's another way we remember who we really are, and to be kind to ourselves and to keep ourselves in that space where we're able to have the hangman energy and see things differently. Using judgment and criticism against ourselves works against us to be able to cope well and to take care of these needs. So that's one thing, if we can control it at all, is to let go of that self-judgment and that internalized ableism that we can feel. Okay? Yeah, and the overthinking. We got to let go of all that. Let go of that. So please, please, Spirit, tell us about the Three of Pentacles. Give us more. So we were, my intuition at first was talking about maybe what we need to do when we're feeling like we've been left out in the cold. We've been feeling like the medical community maybe is not really hearing us as well, or you haven't found a provider that's really your person yet. And that's why you're feeling like you don't have a lot of answers or support. Maybe it means going into the community for that for yourself. And let's take a look. That one wants to come. Yeah, because there's a lot of anxiety. You're feeling a lot of anxiety, and going into the community can help with our anxiety for sure. There's so many answers. I mean, be careful with, in groups or in those communities, take everything with a grain of salt. Make sure you're really kind of, paying attention and using your own intuition to know, are these people that I can trust and, be okay with. But there's a lot of anxiety around the health. I get it. And there might also, okay, thank you. Yeah. One of the things that we can struggle with as neurodivergent folks is connecting to other people can bring anxiety. I get it. And there's lots of good reasons for that, right? In the past, we've been judged. A lot of us in the past have been bullied because we've been different, and we knew we were different. We just didn't know why, perhaps, especially if you're later diagnosed. And because of all of our struggles, sometimes socially as well, or our impulse control, or all of these things can lead to a great amount of anxiety when it comes to other people. So be gentle with yourself. This 3 going into the community does not mean that we need to have 1,000 close friends. Impossible anyway, right? That's what social media and the BS, it tells us that everybody has all these friends, and frankly, that's just not true. If you have one good friend, 1 to 2 good friends that you can count on, and some of those are family or, chosen family, cool, right? So Spirit's saying that's not about going out and being the, big social butterfly. It means finding your person, maybe, that you can talk to and that you can relate to. And that can help with the anxiety and feeling alone. I always want to put out there, because I am a therapist, this is not about me, it's about, don't forget that therapy exists. If you can't afford it, there are a lot of different options out there, and check on Psychology Today and Open Path Collective. They do free. Open Path Collective offers therapists who will take a sliding scale or even gratis free therapy clients. So know that exists if you needed to, but that's what Spirit's saying, is that there's a lot of anxiety that can come. Yeah, and there's been times you've felt like you had to walk away from that, and it feels very isolating, and it can feel, in the past you probably had some crisis moments, but we're looking at making sure that you're using your judgment, like I just said, and kind of finding balance when it comes to other people and friendships and where you get your advice. Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm hoping those help for you. Leave a thumbs up if they do. Leave a comment. I always want to hear from you and hear how you're doing and what you think. I'm sending you so much love because this chronic illness stuff is a beast. It is a beast. And it, just like our neurodivergence, is a spectrum. So there are people that might have POTS that, it's okay, I get a little dizzy every now and then. And then there are other people that have POTS and dysautonomia that affects everything and they're disabled by it. So know that, you can't compare yourself to other people in terms of your suffering. Suffering is suffering. And, it's nice to say, yeah, but there's other people out in the world that are so much worse off than I am. And great, it's a very understanding way to look at it, but also your suffering is important if this is what you're going through. And I want you to hear that Spirit gets it. Spirit knows what you're going through. And they're saying turn to them. They just said that too. Turn to us. Turn to your guides. It's amazing how much inspiration will come through when you turn to your guides in those moments. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for that reminder. All right, these are the elemental empath cards. I want you to turn to them, turn to your guides and angels, and pick a card that resonates for you somehow. If you need to turn off the video, go right ahead. Once again, this is the time I'm going to ask you to go ahead and leave a comment, a like, follow, hit the bell so that you know when I'm making a new video. And that would be lovely. It can help to grow the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Right, here's number 1. This comes up a lot in our readings. Reclaim your body. I'm going to cover the naughty bits for YouTube. It says, body is home. Self-love. Release emotions from the body. Okay. Wow. All right. Whew. I'm feeling that. Our bodies can become like our enemy, like it's a foreign thing to us when we can't control our bodies, or when our bodies are feeling like our enemy. They're acting against us, it feels like. So Spirit's encouraging you to reclaim and love your body even the way it is. So difficult. And whatever you can do to release your emotions from your body so they don't stay trapped in our bodies. There's the book about trauma, The Body Keeps the Score. And even though it's kind of controversial in a lot of ways, the concept itself, I've always believed, is very accurate. That our bodies do remember and do hold emotion. And when we are chronically ill, it is physical. I want to say this loud and clear because so many times we've been gaslit in the medical community. It is physical and it is real. There, a video doesn't go by that I hit the mic with my elbow somehow. I've moved it in all different spots, but I'm sorry. So, okay. So, point being, it's very real. It's very valid. I'm not gaslighting you about emotions, but emotions do impact our physical health. So reclaim your body by releasing those emotions wherever you can. And that's what we're talking about, living in your light. I have to hide that. Even though nothing's really showing, YouTube is weird that way. So reclaim your body. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, abundance. Your true nature, gratitude, and commitment to goals. Okay, I feel ya. So what I'm hearing, and you need to use these cards to hear what Spirit has to say to you. What I'm feeling in this is that by your true nature, that's what we're talking about. Who are you really? Under all this, don't forget who you really are. Spiritually speaking, your power. I also love the way this snake is full of light, by the way, and it's wrapped all around the body, right? It's wrapped all through the body. And this is frankly how the chronic illness in this community presents, isn't it? Everything from the blood pooling at the feet when we get dizzy standing up, right? All the way through the hips and the joints when things are loose, when we're hypermobile or they're out of place, everywhere. So Spirit's reminding you, And look at which chakra is really lit up here, her third eye. Come back to your intuition. Trust your intuition, but also remember your true nature. And that's where gratitude can come in. You don't have to be grateful for your chronic illness stuff, even though some people are, believe it or not, because for various reasons I've heard that. I know somebody who says, yeah, this is what I deal with because otherwise I would be too sexy and powerful in the world. So my chronic illness keeps me down a little bit to keep the rest of the world safe from me and my wonderful being, right? My power. But, the gratitude can come from knowing who you really are. And like, that's cool, right? All right, here we go. And then this one we've got is hope. Oh, honestly, these other cards come up for me a lot. This one has not. I love this. And I use these all the time. Trust, faith, heal the past, hope versus expectation. Oh, look at this. And is that a jaguar? Am I correct with that? Tell me what. I'm not great with identifying animals like that. I think it's either a panther or I can't tell. You tell me, folks. Tiger? I don't know. But it's that powerful spirit there too. The spirit of this powerful animal of hope. Oh, and look, she's using her third eye and her heart chakra to hold her hope. Wow. Yeah, because when we're chronically ill, it's hard to have hope. But it's there, babies. It is there. I hope this helped you. Please, as I said, let me know. Leave a comment. I want to hear from you. I love hearing from you. And I hope you're well. I love you very much. I will see you soon. Bye now.